Welcome to a special video series we're calling Trailblazers TV. We are featuring a few of Trace3's key partners, and we're asking them to play a fun game with us. So today, I am joined by Tony Surma, who is the partner CTO from Microsoft. I am Chris Nicholas. I'm your host today. Tony, we're going to ask you a few questions, and what those questions are going to be determined by this wheel. We have a mix of business, technical, and some fun melted in. So you have no idea what they're going to be. And are you ready to play?
Absolutely. Can't wait. Let's go.
Brilliant. Here we go. Question number one. All right, we've settled on call me. So Tony, what's the number one reason a client calls Microsoft?
First of all, I'm impressed you have a physical wheel there and it wasn't virtual. So I'd say the number one reason why folks call Microsoft and our partners like Trace3 together is they're either looking for some amount of business transformation or some type of value realization. And those sound like highfalutin words, so just a few seconds on that. Basically, everybody loves technology, but they're really looking for how technology is going to drive their business, going to change something, enable a new way to be profitable or optimize their operations. And so we're always getting those calls and always looking at how do we help them drive their business? And then how does technology become an amazing enabler of that?
Very aligned to our core mission. Thank you. Let's move on. All right, we've settled on foodie, and this is one of my passions. So if I come to visit you in your hometown, Tony, what's the restaurant we're going to?
So my hometown is Chicago. So first of all, you pretty much can't go wrong with any restaurant that you go to. But if you haven't spent a lot of time here, you're either going to be going to Giordano's for some deep dish Chicago pizza, or maybe like Portillo's for a solid Italian beef sandwich. I
was just in Chicago for your Ignite conference, and my favorite spot in that town was Swift and Sons. It was some steak nice. And some tableside magic. It was pretty special.
I was actually there 2 weeks ago myself.
That's a cool place. Okay, let's move on to question number 3. All right, we've settled on a very special question around the theme next level, which happens to be Trace3's corporate mantra for 2025. What is the some of the primary areas that Microsoft is undertaking to get to the next level?
Yeah, so I think first of all, next level means a whole lot to different folks. But if I particularly think about like what we're doing together next level, it's really going to be somewhat no surprise around AI, but let me get specific in a couple of places. One is there's absolutely a lot of greatness around transforming productivity and how you work with AI. But I think where the real next level opportunity is just like people rethought their business processes and how they worked when they brought in computers, then the graphical interface, and then the cloud and mobile. I think there's an opportunity to literally rethink how people do work. You look at GitHub Copilot and how folks are doing coding and development, that is going to just change from the way that it happened 5 years ago. Think about M365 Copilot and what that's doing in terms of just email and documents and stuff. Again, you just could completely change how you work. And then lastly, I think we've got some great examples together of taking that base capability of AI and then applying that to overall business processes, how people engage with customers. And I think there's just some examples where how apps are not only built, but how they are used by users, how people integrate them into their business. Just, it's going to look so different in 2, 3, 5 years than it does today. So that next level is something we're developing together.
Thank you, Tony, and wonderful insight. All right, AI assistants. So we've invested truly a tremendous volume of time and effort and energy into kind of translating not only our internal adoption of AI assistants, but also in the way that we enable our clients to leverage them for productivity and for transformation at the persona level. What, in your personal life though, Tony, what is your most recent use of AI?
So I was trying to build something in my garage, and I was going to buy some lumber, and I couldn't remember, or plywood goods, I should say. I couldn't remember how big a garage door opening was. So I literally was asking Copilot, having a conversation back and forth, what's the size of an average garage, then doing some math, figuring out dimensions. So I was on my way to Menards, basically doing math with AI.
That is fun. Disruptors. So Trace3 has been an early mover and disruptor in the industry. How is Microsoft helping Trace3 accomplish that?
I think what we're helping do, and then what you're doing so well on top of what we have, is take the sense of this platform and this wave of a technology transformation and not just deliver AI for AI's sake, or to sort of check a box for somebody because they have a budget item that they're going to spend on AI, but really sit there and think, how are they reimagining? How are they going to get actual business value? And so one of the things we're doing together is looking at use cases, actual business value use cases of what's going inside of their companies, and then how does that get disrupted? So, one example is just thinking about the whole different ways that people engage with their customers, not just with a chatbot, which is great, but going beyond that and sort of thinking how you can have virtual capabilities that deliver something online for a customer. So I really think it's, again, centered around those business use cases and driving that sort of next level ability in their business.
We agree, Tony. I was meeting with our VP of Innovation yesterday, who leads our research team, and the fall of AI's for AI for AI's sake is one of the trends that we're identifying for 2025. So we're seeing this is the year that the enterprise is going to be held to account to drive some measurable impact and value from their AI programs. So we're primed to assist in that area. Moving on. Emerging trends. So we're sticking to the theme of research and innovation. So data analytics, AI, cyber resiliency, cloud security are some of the big conversations happening in our industry and with our clients right now. So if you could pick one of those and tell us how Microsoft is a leader in any of those spaces, we would love your insight.
Yeah, it's a tough one because there's a number of areas we could talk about. We've talked a lot about AI. So maybe what I'll do is talk a little bit adjacent about that. And I think that together with partners like Trace3, where we're helping our customers lead in their business, is around how they're tapping their existing application and data estates, how they're tapping what they already have there, and then how they're bringing that together and then leveraging it via AI and other technologies to bring it forward. So I'd say that's a leadership opportunity that we have together, is really just thinking, again, it's not something new. It's how do you take the new and add it to the quote unquote old or the existing, bring those two together, and you get some type of renewed solution.
Okay. Okay, event. Tell us, Tony, your favorite city to attend an event in and why that is.
Well, you just mentioned we had one in Chicago. As a lifelong Chicagoan, it was great to have others come to my city and see that, to experience the food, as you mentioned. It also snowed on Thursday, so maybe that wasn't the best part of having the event there. So Chicago's definitely one of my favorite places to do it, but I've actually had amazing experiences with events in Denver and Seattle as well.
In Redmond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In both Redmond and actually in downtown Seattle back in the day, we used to have events there every July, and that's the 1 week or two where Seattle has the most beautiful weather.
And it did snow on Ignite Thursday, and I love that as a Californian, he gets about 364 days of sun.
Exactly.
And no seasons. So that was brilliant. Okay, moving on. All right. So, Tony, I think we have a fantastic question to wrap on, and that is, what do you think Trace3 offers that truly differentiates us in the industry and as a partner to you?
Yeah, so great question to end on for sure. I think I'd anchor on a couple of points. Number one is I think you all do an amazing job of meeting customers where they are with their technology and then leading to where they want to go, and that's very important. Secondarily, I think we've seen you adapt to the market, adapt to our technologies and to what the customer needs. That ability to adapt and that agility is absolutely key. And then the last thing I would say there just overall is you all do a great job of evolving And I think that's something that we need to do together is as technology changes, frankly, it's just going to get faster after this point. We need to really evolve as much as possible. So for all three of those reasons, it's a great partnership we have together with you, Trace3.
Virtual high five, my friend, and thank you for being a part of our show.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for joining us, and to our special guest, Tony Surma. Please stay tuned for additional episodes of Trailblazers TV.